guys? My name's Mateo. Welcome to Winter is Blue. This is my van life channel. I've been on the road now for 14 months, full time since March of this year. But the question that I get a lot, that I've been kind of procrastinating on answering because I just don't like doing math, but the question is, how much does van life cost? Now, that's a very intricate question because the answer won't be the same for everyone that you ask. People who like to travel more luxuriously will spend more. People who love to be in a different state every week will obviously pay so much more for gas and stuff like that. Also, like if you have kids or anything like that that can make it cost more, that won't apply to someone like me who just has a small van and a cat. That's all I have. So I'm gonna tell you how much van life costs for me. I've been adding up all of my expenses for the month of October. So it's November now, but I'll give you what I spent in October since November is still happening. So yeah, I'm really excited to tell you guys exactly like how much I spend and really kind of figure out myself, because I really don't pay that much attention to how much I spend. I just try not to spend too much. Okay, so these are my expenses for 1 month of van life. So first thing I have on my list is laundry. I spend about $14 a month on laundry. That's because I usually wash my clothes and everything twice a month. And it usually costs around $7 per time that I go to wash and dry. Sometimes I won't even dry there. I'll like wash my stuff and then I'll take it somewhere else. Like if I'm going to a BLM campsite or something like that, and I'll just hang it up on my awning, which I have on the right side of my van. I'll just hang it off there and let it air dry. But for the times that I do dry and wash, it's usually about $7. So about $14 a month to wash my clothes and my sheets for my bed. So yeah, that's not so bad. The next expense that I have is my gym. Now I do have a Planet Fitness gym membership. I have the Black card, which is the one that allows you to use other locations nationwide. That is $25 a month. Honestly, I really don't use it much. Not gonna lie. I think I've used it one time in the entire month of October, but I have not canceled it because that one time that I did use it, I was really desperate for a shower, and Planet Fitness was the only and closest place that I could go. So it has been worth it to keep, but I don't know. I think when I go to an area, like for instance, if I go to like Arizona during the winter time where I'm more in BLM land, I do have a outdoor shower, and I might just start using that more often and maybe give the gym membership a break for a couple months. Cause I really don't use it that much, but it does come in clutch. So yeah. One thing about them is that they only let you use other locations besides your home location 10 times a month. So that hasn't really been a problem for me because I don't go very often. But if you're a person who likes to go to the gym every single day and you're not staying in the same area, that might be something to consider. So keep that in mind. Okay, the next expense is food. In the month of October, I spent $330 on food. That might sound like a lot, and it might be. That might actually be a lot for one person, but about 60 of that was on like dining out. So like breakfast, I like to get Taco Bell breakfast when I don't feel like cooking in the van. And just sometimes when I don't feel like cooking, I like to just grab like something very quick, like a pre-made sandwich from Safeway or something like that. But yeah, I do like to cook a lot on this channel. If you guys have not noticed, I like to make sort of fancy things sometimes. So yeah, $330 is what I spent last month for groceries. Again, that will vary from person to person. Some people, I do know some people who don't like to cook at all, and they literally eat all of their meals out. So for that, it might be more, it might be less, depending on where you go. Some people like to cook every single meal. Some people like to meal prep. Depending on what you do, that's how much you'll be spending. So coming into it, you should definitely think about how you're going to be getting your food in every day, because I honestly don't cook that often. I know I show cooking a lot for the vlogs, but when I'm not doing vlogs, I usually don't like to cook because it just takes up a lot of time. And I'm not a person who, I mean, I do love to cook, but if I cook every single day, it's honestly going to burn me out and make me not enjoy it. So I like to make that like a special thing that I do when I'm making like fancier stuff. But yeah, so $330 for groceries for the month of October. Now I'm going to talk about my bills. I literally only have two bills. That's my phone bill and my insurance for the van. My phone bill is around $100, sometimes like $109, something like that. And my insurance for the van is about $75. So that's about, sometimes it's a little more, sometimes a little less, but anywhere between like $180 to like $200 is what my monthly bills are. The reason why my phone bill is so much is because I have the highest amount of hotspot that they would give me, because I told them that, you know, I do YouTube and I need to use my computer a lot. And when I'm not at like a Starbucks or a library, this is the only way that I can use my computer or do things like that. I also do play games sometimes. I'm not a big gamer, but when I do game, I do my hotspot as well. So it is rare that I go above my hotspot. I think it's 100 gigabytes. It's rare that I ever exceed that, but it has happened. So that's why I'm using that one. It costs a bit of money, and honestly, in the future, I do want to seek out other things that I can do to make that price come down. But for now, it works, and yeah. So those are my bills for the month. The last for my main expenses, which is probably the most important one, that would be gas. So I did choose the month of October because it was a month where I didn't stay in one spot. Because of course, if you're doing van life, for instance, if you're gonna spend the entirety of the winter time in like Quartzsite, you're probably not gonna spend too much money on gas because you'll probably be in the same area. But for the month of October, I was literally in Washington, and then all around Oregon. I went all throughout Oregon, and then I ended the month in California. So that wasn't too much driving compared to what I've done. Sometimes I'll like blast through like 5 states in like a month. So I didn't go too far, but I still did drive a good bit. So I felt like that would be a good month to use because I do often drive a decent bit. That was not the most I've ever driven, but it also was not the least that I've ever driven. So I feel like it was a good median amount to do. So my car gets, I think, 19 or 20 miles to the gallon, which I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea if that's good or bad, but I mean, I feel like my gas lasts a decent amount of time, if I'm being honest. But yeah, this month on gas, I spent $321, which I don't feel like that's that bad because gas prices in Washington and Oregon have been so much cheaper than they are in California. Like here in California, it's like $6 still, which is insane. But the last place that I went to get gas in Oregon before I got here, it was $3 and I think $3.09. So yeah, I really miss Oregon right now because these gas prices are killing me. But yeah, so I spent $321 on gas for the month of October, which that's not that bad for as much as I drove, honestly. Okay, so next I'm going to get into the miscellaneous things. So things that I don't really need. Some of them I do really need. You'll hear about those. But most of these things are things that I don't really need, but they're like little luxuries that I allow myself. So I have Spotify, which costs $10 a month. I've had Spotify for years and years and years. I've built so many playlists that I need to get through the day. I just can't let it go yet. I feel like I should not be spending that much money a month, especially with my other expenses that I'm going to get to. But for now, it's something that I'm not letting go of. I also spend $19 a month on YouTube Premium. And I know YouTube also has music, and I could just switch over and then drop the Spotify, but I just haven't gotten there yet. But I don't pay for any other streaming sites. I don't like really use like Netflix or anything like that. But YouTube, I'm on YouTube like every single day, just watching like my friends, watching other people, or just like watching like TED Talks and like podcasts, things like that. I'm on YouTube all the time, so I will justify that. I just need to maybe switch my music over to YouTube as well, so I can have it in all like one thing. I spend $10 a month on a mile tracking app for tax purposes. So whenever I'm driving, it's automatically tracking my miles. I used to use the free version, which I had to press start on every time that I did it, but there would be so many times that I would forget. I would go on like a 10-hour drive and realize that I had not been tracking my miles. So that's just money down the drain. So I think it's worth it to pay $10 a month to have it actually do it for me. Now, whenever I start the car and like drive like 1 mile down the street, it still counts that. And I think that just gives me peace of mind. I know that it's tracking it, and I know I'm not wasting money. So $10 a month, and it's tax deductible too. So it's really like, I might as well do it. Now to Lars. So for Lars, for his cat food, I spend anywhere between like $13 to $30 a month, depending on like what all I get him. Usually I give him dry food. I do like to mix wet food with the dry food, and I'll buy him treats and stuff like that. So it's been anywhere between $13 to $30. For this month, it was around $21 for everything that I got for him for the month. Then pet insurance is about $45 a month. So that's the stuff for Lars. As far as other things, there are like, I have a list for park fees or hot spring fees. I'm on like a hot spring tour right now, so I've been going to a lot of hot springs whenever I find them. Mostly I've been trying to find free ones, but I did end up paying for a few hot springs in the month of October that equaled to $25. That being said, I did not pay for any park fees or anything like that. I just paid for hot spring fees. So that was $25 added up. And then the last expense that I counted for October was I got all new tires for my van. Because if you guys saw my video in the desert, my tire exploded. I was gonna get new tires anyways, but I had to get all new tires, and that cost $485, which I don't think is that bad. I got pretty good quality tires too, and yeah, that's all that I spent for the month of October. And let me add that all up. Okay, so when I add up all my expenses for October, I spent $1,505 for the month of October. And I actually forgot to add in water. That was actually only $4. I filled up twice. I have a 5-gallon container that I use for all of my water, and I usually fill it up 2 to 3 times a month. Last month I only filled it up twice, and it was $4. So $1,509 for the month of October. That's not that bad, and honestly, it would have been less, of course, if I didn't get all new tires. So yeah, but again, it depends on like what you do, how long you drive, how far you drive, the luxuries that you allow yourself. So that number can honestly go way lower, but it can also go way higher. So yeah, that is how much van life costs for me for 1 month. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. I'll try to get to as many as I can. Hopefully this video was helpful to anyone thinking about starting van life. Maybe if you're considering doing it, this can help you like think of what you have to get aside to start it. Also, if you guys would like to know how I afford van life and things that I've done in the past as well to afford traveling, I'll link that above. I did do a video about how I afford van life. Of course, it'll be different for every person, but I think there's some stuff in there that could definitely help you out if you are thinking about starting this lifestyle. So please go check that out. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate everyone for watching. Please leave your thoughts below. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.